Thank you so much for being here. This is Ashwini Prasad, your host of the Inclusive Storytelling Podcast. If you're liking these episodes, please leave a review, download, comment if you're on YouTube, and share these episodes. Feel free to connect with me at theinclusivescreenwriter.com or on Twitter and Instagram at The Inclusive Screenwriter. In addition to being an anti-racism and anti-oppression educator, I'm a screenwriter, self-published author, and of course a podcast host. So if I can make our media more inclusive with you, feel free to reach out. All right, let's jump into our episode. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. called Thich Nhat Hanh an apostle of peace and nonviolence when Dr. King nominated Hanh for the Nobel Peace Prize. Born in central Vietnam in 1926, Thich Nhat Hanh entered the Tu Hu Temple as a novice monk at 16 years old. As a young monk in the early 1950s, he was actively engaged in the movement to renew Vietnamese Buddhism. He was one of the first monks to study a secular subject at the University of Saigon. When the war came to Vietnam, monks and nuns were confronted with the question to whether to adhere to their contemplative life and study meditation in the monasteries or help those around them who were suffering under the bombings and turmoil of war. Hanh was one of those who chose to do both, and doing so founded the Engaged Buddhism movement. In 1961, Hanh traveled to the United States on a scholarship to study comparative religion at Princeton Theological Seminary. In the following year, he went on to teach and research Buddhism at Columbia University. In Vietnam in the early 1960s, Hanh founded the School of Youth and Social Service, which is a grassroots relief organization of 10,000 volunteers based in the Buddhist principles of nonviolence and compassionate action. During the Vietnam War, the South Vietnamese government deemed Hanh as a traitor after he refused to condone the war on communism, and he was not allowed to enter North or South Vietnam until 2005. In the early 1970s, Hanh was a lecturer and researcher in Buddhism at the University of Sorbonne in Paris. In 1975, he established the Sweet Potato Community near Paris, and in 1982, he moved to the southwest of France, which soon became a monastery known as the Plum Village. Plum Village still welcomes people of all ages, backgrounds, and faiths to do retreats where they can learn about walking meditation, sitting meditations, relaxation, and breathing mindfully. These are all ancient Buddhist practices in which Hanh has distilled and applies to those who are visiting Plum Village. In November 2018, Hanh moved back to Vietnam in the Tu Hu Temple, where he met with his teacher when he first started at the temple when he was 16 years old and became ordained. He expressed that he wanted to stay at the temple and in Vietnam for his remaining days. Hanh died on January 22, 2022 at 95, leaving an incredible legacy and a life for us to better understand and learn from. I know I would absolutely love to learn more about this amazing figure, his life, in a movie or a miniseries. Thanks again for being here, and again, if you're liking these episodes, feel free to leave a review, download, comment, and share. And always remember, if I can support you in making our media more inclusive, feel free to reach out. I'm a screenwriter, podcast host, and an author, and I am at theinclusivescreenwriter.com or The Inclusive Screenwriter on Twitter and Instagram.